Finally, I get to start off a video. All right, so we saw those changes occur on the other side. And now we want to get those changes into our program. And so we, again, will go to Git, and then we're going to pull down those changes, or we can say update project, which is going to do all of it at the same time. Do I want to, and it says there's problems. Do I want to merge those changes into the incoming, the current branch, or do I want to rebase the current branch on top of incoming changes? So this is a perfect time to talk about this. I wanted to talk about this anyway. There's two different ways of merging, so to speak. One is to pull the changes in this moment as the project stands. The second way of doing it is to rebase, which means we go and get all the changes that are on the server before we make any changes of our own. And so I'm actually going to cancel this and come back and pull this out into two steps. I can go pull first. So I can pull, and it says, do you want to pull to master? And I'll say yes. And it should tell me, oh no, it didn't. So I didn't do a good job there of showing the merge versus rebase. You can go read about it, but basically it just shows, when do the changes come in the program? When you look at the history of the changes, like we're looking at here, do we want the changes that came in from the remote to show first in the history and then add in our changes, or do we want our changes first and then show what comes in from the remote? If we do a merge, then again, our changes are being, it's put in order of our changes occurring first, and then the changes that come in from the remote. If I do a rebase, it will show the changes from the remote first, and then show the changes for the merge. I don't know that it's that big of a deal for what we'll be doing, but just it's good to know, and you can go read more about the difference between rebase and merge. All right, but the whole point is we want to avoid these type of conflicts. And the way that we do that is I'm going to put a line in here saying, instead of Breaking Bad, Evil Hilton is breaking good. All right, Evil Hilton is breaking good. And so if I'm doing this right, then I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, this is getting sloppy. Trying to work from two machines is no joke when creating a video like this. Sorry for that brief interjection by Professor Hilton. If I'm doing it right, then I wouldn't just make that change that I just did. Instead, because we don't want just anybody modifying the master, right? Picture a website like Amazon. Do you want just any employee updating that master branch that's going to be the one that's sent out to the world? No, obviously not. And so what we do instead is we create our own branch. So in my case, I'm going to say master, and I want to create a new branch, and this is called Evil Hilton branch. All right, so I'm going to create this branch, and I'm going to check it out, which means it's mine. Nobody else can modify it. All right, so now I've created my own branch. And in this branch, I can go in and make, that same change. I can say, right line, Evil Hilton is breaking good. All right, so I've made a change. But instead of me pushing that change, because I can see I've got a change to make here, instead of me pushing that change, what I'm going to do is tell the person in charge, in this case, Professor Hilton's created the repository. He's the one who's, assembling this code. I'm going to tell him that there's a change to be made. And so the way that I do that is, first of all, I'm going to commit this change. So I'll commit. But then instead of pushing the change to that master branch, I am going to create a pull request. And I just need to remember how to do that. So there's the Evil Hilton branch. Let's see here. Pull. GitHub, create a pull request. There we go. So GitHub, create a pull request. So I can click here and say, I want to create a pull request called Breaking Good, and this is the change that's being made. I can send that up now on my branch to that repository, and it will create a pull request saying, hey, you might want to pull in this change to the master branch. All right. So I've created a pull request. I made a change on my own branch, and I've sent that change to be looked at, to say, do you want to do this, right? I'm turning good, so I want to do this the right way. All right, let's pass it back to Professor Hilton. Thanks, bro. So sure enough, if we come look at another class where we were making the changes, that change doesn't show here. And so it shows that it fixed the merge conflict, but it doesn't show even anything about the incoming change that my evil twin brother made. And so how do I see that? If I go back to Git Fun, actually I didn't even need to go there. You can see it right here. There's a pull request. And so on GitHub, and usually we'll do this merge and pull request kind of stuff on GitHub. So here I can take a look and say, oh, there's a pull request waiting for me. If I'm the one who's managing this GitHub project, I can say, oh, there's a pull request. And I can see that this request, if I click into it, so what's the commit? This is what's occurring, right? This is the line that's been added, or these are the changes that's been made. So I can get there by going in and looking at the commit itself, and then I can review these changes and say, is this something that I want to add into the program? Now I can click. No, I can't. Why can't I click in there? Am I not logged in? I am. Okay, that's obviously not how to do it. This is a review, but I mean, if we jump back a step and look at the pull request, then I can take a look at this and say, okay, this looks okay. And so Evil Hilton is working in his own branch. Those changes were made in his own branch. And as he got done, this is, so the Evil Hilton branch, right, of the project, and I can switch back and forth between branches. So I am the senior programmer. I'm handling this idea of, the GitHub and controlling all the code. And so this is a change that Evil Hilton's made. He's not super trustworthy. He is trying to break good. And so we can look at this and say, and I even see here, like this branch is one commit ahead of the master. This has got more changes, better, newer code than what the master has. And so, again, I can go to that pull request. If I'm the person doing this, I can look at that pull request and say, yeah, this one looks good. Let's go ahead and merge that pull request. And again, we saw that option there, rebase and then merge. Go get any other changes first in the timeline and then pull in this change, or just bring it in wherever we are in the timeline. And so I can say merge pull request and then confirm that merge into the master. And then once that's confirmed into the master, now I go back to Get Fun, and I can see that in the master branch, if I click on this another class, then I can see that change in there. Evil Hilton's breaking good. Now on my Visual Studio side, I'm connected in with that master branch, and when I go sync those changes, it's going to pop in that change that was okayed, so to speak, up at the GitHub level. And so every team needs somebody who is going in and handling all these changes, making sure that they're appropriate. All right, I think I'm out of time. Spencer, out.